And it looks like DC has something else that's going on. This is from New York. What's going on here? NYPD report of gun at Susan Wagner unfounded prompted lockdown. Okay. So over in Staten Island, New York, this is from DC, a frightening scene unfolded at Susan Wagner High School Wednesday afternoon when an unfounded report of a gun prompted a lockdown in a large NYPD response. And many panicked parents rushed to the facility, some of whom received text messages from shaken children saying, "I love you." The report was deemed to be unfounded. Okay, well, that's good. It marked the latest unfounded report of a threat at a school the NYPD received on Staten Island this week in the wake of the Parkland, Florida massacre. More than a dozen police cars and about half a dozen EMS rushed to the school shortly before 12:30. So I wonder what prompted this. So I guess in this case, this was a false alarm. One father sent his son a message saying he loved them and he's freaked out. Linda LaSala said her granddaughter called in tears that someone had a gun at the school. "I don't feel safe," her granddaughter texted her. Whew. Holy shit, guy. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, this isn't real time. And again, we don't prepare this in advance. I don't prepare this in advance. You guys tweet me the stories, and I respond to them viscerally. And right now I'm responding kind of viscerally because I don't know what to say or think. You know, me and my girlfriend have been revisiting Breaking Bad. Because it's the 10th anniversary of the first episode of Breaking Bad, which in Breaking Bad, one of my favorite television series of all time. And there was a flashback scene where they were looking at their first house, Walt and his wife. I'm not going to have any spoilers, don't worry. But if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, I recommend doing it right now. But there was a flashback scene, and Skyler was pregnant with their first child. Spoiler alert, the main character has children. Doesn't spoil anything. The main character does have children. And they were talking about how when they were talking about buying the house, Walt wasn't as sold on the house as Skylar was. She really wanted the house. Walt wasn't as sure. One of the things Skylar pointed out, because they were with child, is they had good school districts. And, as I was falling asleep, I thought about that because, sometimes you think about, I'm growing up. We're all growing up, right? None of us are getting any younger. And even though I've been 27 since the year 1933, I'm still in my mind getting older. But I'm getting older. We're all getting older, and I'm. Sometimes you think about like what the future may hold, and I think about, man, I might want a family someday. I don't know, but you think about school districts, and you think about stuff like that. And as I was falling asleep, this thought literally went through my head. And I feel bad that this thought went through my head in some ways. But the thought honestly went through my head that if I was going to have children, I wouldn't want to just make sure that the school districts were good where we lived. I think I would want to make sure we could live in a different country. And I feel really bad saying that. And I feel like, man, that's sort of, the grass is always greener, Ron. But yeah, other countries, I don't want to have a child that goes to school in fear that their teacher's going to shoot them or that anyone could have a gun on any given day. I don't want that for my child. I don't want them to not know what they're going to do about healthcare when they turn 18 or 26, if we're lucky. I don't want them to have a work culture that celebrates working 3 jobs to survive, that would rather have you be driven off in an ambulance than give you a healthy working environment to do your job. So I think I honestly, the thought went through my head where it's like, unless we could relocate to another country, I don't think I'd ever want to have children. And I know some people are going to give me some flack in the comments for saying it. That's fine. I'm not saying like I'm not going to have children if I can't go to another country, but the thought went through my head that it's like, that might be something I'd consider. I wouldn't just consider, oh, is it a good school district? Is it a good whatever? I would consider, could we go to another country? Like, could we either move to Canada or Italy? And I say that because I have family over in Italy. Or England. I mean, I'm a comedian, so I can totally work in a lot of these places. Like, I could work over in the UK, and they actually pay better over there. So Jessie points out that she's had the same conversation with her significant other. Canada has a merit system to immigrate. Yeah, I mean, the thought went through my head, and I love Los Angeles. I love the United States in so many ways. I think that this is a beautiful experiment we're a part of. But like all beautiful experiments, holy shit, does it have its flaws. And it's a scary contemporary society that we live in right now. Marcus points out that he's had similar thoughts. This is the richest country in the world. We shouldn't be having these thoughts. It's fucked up that we're having these thoughts. That we're thinking, if I want to have children, I don't know if I want to do it if I have to live in the country I was born in. And a country that's provided me with amazing opportunities. Amazing freaking opportunities. I get to be a comedian. I mean, that's incredible. Like, that's incredible. And the United States isn't the only country I can do that in. Sure, it's certainly not. But it's amazing that I get to do that. There's so many people doing incredible things in this country. And I don't know what it's like to go to bed hungry. I have no idea what that's like. I have no idea what it's like to live in poverty. Nobody in this country should ever know what that's like, but people do. So what I'm saying is I'm not taking for granted this country or what it's afforded all of us. But something is tragically broken when these types of thoughts are the reality. I mean, a friend of mine was engaged to a Canadian citizen. This was when I lived in Seattle. They're no longer engaged. It didn't work out. But they were planning on moving up there because she just said, look, we want to have children, and I feel like that's a better opportunity. That it's so backwards that that's the case. Marcus points out, I've lived abroad and I felt safer. Yeah, I mean, I haven't lived abroad, but I've been abroad a lot, and I've felt safer too, for the most part. Capitalism was broken from the start. Yeah, it's set up to be this way. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.